Playing some retro tonight. The Adventures of Batman and Robin on Sega. Just gonna wait for a few people to come on. Just hanging out with y'all on a Saturday night. Just chilling. Hope everybody's doing good. Alright, let's get into this gameplay. What's up to everybody? Feel free to drop your comments and all that stuff. I'll check them out in a few minutes. And I remember when this game first came out. Back in the 90s. They don't make games like this anymore. Hey, what's going on, Ace? Appreciate y'all. Just here playing some Adventures of Batman and Robin on Sega. Some retro. I don't know if you ever played this game, but this is a good classic game. It's been a while I haven't played this game. Rusty. Before we got Arkham, any of the Arkham games, any old school gamer knows about this game right here, Batman and Robin. It's still a hard game. Yeah, it's Batman animated series, I think, or I know it's one of those. I always get that one mixed up with the one for Super Nintendo. I think that's the one that's the Adventures of Batman and Robin. Both are still good games. I like this one because it's more, a little more fast paced. Are they gonna kill me? Nah, I don't like that new Superman costume. I'm not interested in it, honestly. It's just embarrassing, man. I get it, some people like it, but I don't like that. That new route they're going with. Yeah, this game is hard, man. I forgot how difficult this game is. That's why I used to use the cheat code, but I don't remember it now. I have to Google it. I haven't seen Kamen Rider like fully. I've only seen like clips on YouTube, but I'm not really familiar with like the seasons or anything. Episode 41 was dope. I had a friend that he was really into that. Like I'm talking about like obsessed with it. Kamen Rider has some good costumes and their characters and stuff. I've seen some of them. They're pretty dope. Serious, this game is so damn hard. I remember I used to play this when I was back in high school. Man, it was hard back then and it's still a pain in the ass. Notice how they barely give you any life. So it's even more harder. And you got everybody coming at you from every angle. That's why this game's so hard. It's fun. It's just very, very difficult at times. It doesn't even have a mode. You just play it and that's it. Everyone that's played this game, they know how hard this game is. Look at that, man. Come on. If I die one more time, I'm gonna play another one. Not this one, but I'm gonna change the game. I'll put a different one. And when you beat this game, the reward, it just feels so good. Knowing that you could beat this difficult game is one of those that you play and you never play again. Come on, man. Look at that. I'm about to die. Look at that. How are you supposed to focus when you have everything coming at you? What link you talking about? Yeah, I play Fortnite. I like to play Fortnite. I was just playing it like earlier. They got that new, what is it, that update they did? It's pretty good. Feels like the OG a little bit. Alright, this game pissed me off. I'm gonna put another one because I'm not gonna stress myself out for this game. Did you receive the link? I'm not sure which one. Oh yeah, man, they're always making excuses. You know how they roll. Now, that's another good one too, right here. Batman Returns. There's this one that's on Sega. Very dark. I like it. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's like if you played it, you know what I'm talking about, and not just check out like a YouTube gameplay on it. It's really like completely different from the movie, but it's a fun game. It's kind of hard also, but I just put this thing on easy and screw it, call it a day. I'm a casual gamer. I'm not here to complicate myself and play these games. They're fun for what they are, you know? It's been such a long time that I don't play these games. Like, kind of forgot how to play it just because, you know, PS5 spoiled us. And I'm like freaking everywhere with that. And especially when you play Fortnite, you got other controllers that like screw your brain up. It's like going back to these games. It's like, yo, what the hell? And here you gotta get all these weapons and stuff like that. It's a fun pain in the ass type of game if you want to say. Dogman movie. Looking forward to the Dogman. Hey, what's going on, Preach? I see you. Appreciate that, man. I see you every time you be dropping the comments. Appreciate that. You already know. Yeah, for sure. They're all desperate. They know that Superman is certified DOA, and they can't accept the fact that it's not going to go anywhere. And even James Gunn himself knows that Superman is not gonna do good. So he's just gonna try to cram everything into one movie to try to leave back his quote unquote legacy, which is gonna be a complete mess because it's already starting off bad and it's just gonna end even worse. Because look at that. Remember that Superman I mean not Superman, when James Gunn said that he was like, oh, like we're not gonna have a Superman in the underwear. And what are we getting? Superman with the underwear. And now there's another thing going around too that he's saying that what is it? That he hasn't casted nobody for the voice of Crypto. I mean, is it Crypto, the dog? That's just showing you that yeah, for sure he has somebody already. And don't be surprised, you're gonna see the dog, Crypto the dog, and Superman. For sure, you're gonna see it. That just confirms it. Every time James Gunn says no, this is not gonna be in the movie, it's always the opposite. That means it's going to be in the movie, because when he said that, oh, Superman wasn't gonna be wearing the trunks, what are we getting? Superman with the trunks, and it's like, yo, like this is what WB is allowing. Oh my god, it's embarrassing. You know, like it's up to the point where it's like, whoa, when is this company going to learn? That's why it's up to us, the fans, to boycott and not support the movie because we just have to send that message clear, meaning we don't want this. Nobody asked for this. and on the day of when it releases, it's just completely gonna flop. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. Everybody's look in their face because everybody was like, remember that they were like, oh, when Superman comes out, wait till we let James Gunn cook, and you're gonna see, watch how he reveals his costume. Yeah, he revealed it, and look at what happened. That's the world's #1 meme. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. Yeah, Gunn knows he's gonna fail. Hold on. What? Our movie news told people can't post restore the Snyderverse. Oh, then he's a sellout. So that's what it is, straight up. If our movie news is saying all that, look, he's confused. He one day he's on the Snyder team, the next day he's on the Gun Bro team, and it's like, yo, once he started talking about supporting James Gunn, I was like, oh, I'm done with this one, honestly, and just like that, there's other channels that are doing the same thing too, man, and I'm telling y'all, once it gets restored, you're gonna see all these people wanting to come jump on the bandwagon again, and they're gonna be like, oh, I was always there, I was always supporting it. No, you wasn't. We watching you loud and clear, you know. There's some other channels out there. I ain't gonna mention their names and stuff like that because it's pointless. But y'all already know who they are and stuff like that. And they grew their channels and like they just used the name for fame. And where they're at now, they all turned their backs. It's crazy. That's why I keep on talking about it, and I ain't stopping. I'm doing it for y'all. I'm out here representing. I be getting all type of messages, people talking all type of smack. I just be like, yeah, whatever, man. That just shows you that they're nervous, and that's what happens when people are nervous. They're like, they start stuttering. They start coming up with all these lies, and they're pathetic, honestly. Yo, I'm about to die. No. Damn, yo, I forgot how these damn Sega games are so hard, man. If you're a gamer and you never played this game, like back in the days with Sega, hell, if you didn't play Sega or like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, gaming was different back then. It was serious, It's like you had to get it right, not to like repeat the stage or repeat the whole damn game. I remember I used to play this like straight up. I was obsessed with this game back in when it came out back in the 90s. Badass game. I used to always play this after school, and I was like, screw homework. I just want to play this game, and I'm still playing this game to the day of the day, emulator style. Hell yeah! But yeah, it's crazy. It's like all these people coming out with all these excuses of things for this whole new DCU. It just shows you where they're at. It just shows you. People are they're scared. They know they're losing, and they know they're not gonna win, and they know that we're gonna win. They know the Snyderverse is gonna get restored again. It's just a matter of time, and this right here is gonna be proof because Superman is just off to a horrible, horrible start. It's embarrassing, honestly. If I was the company, I would be ashamed. Like ashamed, I'd be like, "Damn, we're actually allowing this." I mean, they have to do it because of the contract. They have to go by what the contract says. If they didn't, an agreement with James Gunn for like 5 years or whatever the time frame is, I think minimum is like 5 years. This is why this dude's doing that because he's just desperate and he's trying to pull every page in the book so he can leave his mark behind. But jokes on him because it's just gonna be a circus behind that his legacy is gonna be because everything that it's just he's just making history for himself as bozo of the century, if you want to say. He's just completely embarrassing himself with everything that he's doing. He should have just stayed at Marvel and continued his Guardians of the Galaxy because that's what he was good at. But here at DC, man, all he's been doing is just destroying everything that we enjoy and what we like. And I don't want to hear no excuses. All right, let me see some comments real quick. The fact Yeah, man, everything that Gunn says is just the opposite. You know, I don't believe a word he says. It ends next year. Yeah, it's already done. So it's already done before it even starts. Yeah, that's why you guys don't see me talking about DC with James Gunn that much. You know, because I'm like, I'm not gonna give him free publicity for what. You know, it's like what the hell I gotta give him free publicity for? You know, it's like it's just embarrassing. I'll just put out the stuff that exposes him and stuff. You know, like the whenever he's caught in a lie. I have another video that one I recorded it today, so hopefully tomorrow I'll put it up and stuff. But about his lies and how once again he came out saying one thing and he's doing the other. That's why one of them, of course, is the whole thing with crypto, saying that he hasn't casted nobody yet to be the voice. I wouldn't be surprised if it's him or probably Chris Pratt or what's his name what do you call it? If it's himself. You imagine James Gunn casts himself as crypto or his brother or what's his name Dave Bautista. I mean, for sure it's gonna be somebody from Marvel. Watch, you're gonna see. For sure he already has somebody selected. He's just not gonna say it, and then he's gonna go out there and put it. And then it's weird because the thing is he doesn't even have the face to show it. And talking about the face, that's another thing too that I have on the video coming out for tomorrow. It's already pre-recorded and whatever. But he even said the rumors coming out now that he's not going to be attending San Diego Comic Con this year again. Oh, I wonder why he didn't attend it last year in 2023. Why? Because of course he doesn't have the face. Like he's just I like how do you say it? Like it's a shame. He doesn't know where to hide his face in front of the fans, in front of the audience. You imagine him at Hall H and everybody just asking him, hey, we don't care about your Superman. What's up with Henry Cavill? Why did you do what you do? Why this and why he doesn't want the criticism. He can't face it. And of course, the other bozo, Peter Safran, he's probably gonna be the one that's gonna be put in the face. And recently they just did that little what was like a little event that it was private with them and stuff. And when they announced this whole DCU, that thing was small, like in a little like conference room. And then I forgot where it was that they were all at right now recently that they announced it when they revealed the logo for Superman. And Peter Safran was on stage by himself. It's like, well, where's James Gunn? Like that, that's why I'm like, yo, this is completely embarrassing. Like I would be, it's just wow, it's just cringe on every level. Yeah, I mean, it's just James Gunn. He's gonna cast for sure somebody to do the dog, the voice. So I'm not surprised anymore with all the foolishness that they're putting out. Oh, for sure, we're gonna get the Snyderverse. It's gonna come back. They just don't want to admit it. They don't want to face it. But the fact is that we know Zack is already back. So it's just when is it gonna take place? And of course, it's gonna be right after Superman flops. Because I'm telling you right now, once that movie fails at the box office and it does not perform the way that WB wants, WB's gonna screw over James Gunn the same way they screwed over Zack, the same way they screwed over David Ayer, the same way they screwed everybody, because they're all about money, and that's understandable. So I'm telling you, man, it's just good times are ahead in the sense that for the Snyderverse, because people don't want to. A lot of people don't want to accept the fact that that's what's gonna happen because they think that James Gunn is the savior. He's the one that's gonna fix and change everything. No, he's not. He's screwing everything up. Look at the stocks. The stocks tells you everything. And then when the announcement was Zach, boom, the stocks started going up. And look at what happened. After the announcement, boom, stocks are going down. How come right now the stocks are not going up? And James Gunn is filming and everything is leaking. You see all these images, you see everything that's leaking, and there's no hype around it. People don't care about it. You know what? A handful? Just a little bit of people are like, oh wow, finally. No, you're not. This movie's gonna flop. It's gonna flop harder than the Hamada verse. Shit. Give me the Hamada verse instead of the gun verse. I'm like, honestly, like they both suck, but at least that one was somewhat, like I don't know, it's just they both suck, I know, but it's crazy, It's just it's wild. I don't know how the hell James Gunn is in power over at DC. Completely embarrassing. There's one thing I like about these old games, man. The whole 2D. Wish they would make games like this still, like with new graphics, of course. But it's just the whole concept of just badass, just kick ass and go. This one right here is a pain in the ass. Now give me a minute. I'll read comments right now. But hold on, let me try to see if I can beat this. Sometimes you gotta cheat. But yeah, now I know 3D is dope. 3D. Don't get me wrong. I like 3D games and stuff like that. The whole open world stuff. But I mean, this is what I grew up on. Playing these type of games. Back in the what is it, the 90s, and of course, and what we had back then. This is what we grew up on. Of course, don't get me wrong. The new stuff is amazing. But I don't know. It's just sometimes it just lacks that whole entertainment part. But both are good. Time to time, I like to play some retro just because why not. And I don't do it because of the nostalgia. I don't care about nostalgia. I just play it because damn it, there were good games back then. Fallen Aces is badass. I have to check that out. What's that for? Like PS5, Xbox? I don't know about Xbox. I don't mess with Xbox. I only play what you call PlayStation and Nintendo Switch or whatever Nintendo, but I don't mess around with Xbox. So whoever plays Xbox, I mean, keep doing your thing. I don't mess with Xbox. Man. You see, even though this is an old game, it's still hard. Look at that. Look, I only got 3 lives. I got 1 point of life. No saves because there's no memory card in this. And if I die, you gotta start from the beginning of the whole damn game. So. All right, Xbox. Yeah, that's cool, man. I know Xbox has some good games. I just could never get into it. I don't know. It was never my thing. PC Master Race now. Nice. Yeah, PC too. Damn, I can't even get him up there. I gotta go the long way. I was trying to take the shortcut, but I already used that weapon. And they give you a limited amount, so. And then I got the health right there. Damn, let me see if I can try to get it. There you go. Alright. Let me see. Yeah, it's crazy. Like all these universes. I mean, I don't know what it is, just I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised that Godzilla isn't suffering yet like that. Hopefully they don't screw it up. But there's so many universes out there that of course it doesn't have to be like the Marvel formula. And everybody's mentality is after Marvel, so it has to be like the Marvel formula. Oh, I'm talking about that. I saw a meme today. I should have saved it, but it had two like it was two faces. I don't know like if you seen it, but it was like one with the Marvel hat, and he's like, "No, you can't make these movies like that. You gotta first build up, leading to like whatever a shared universe." And on the other side, you had all these movies that were like by themselves. You know, you had like the old Batman movies, you had Star Wars, you had all these movies that they were good back in the days and stuff. And it's like but it just proves you what what people's mentality when it comes to cinema today, where they stand at. You know, it's like they think everything has to be the Marvel formula, and it's just it doesn't. You know, like that's why these movies that they do good on their own or without having a universe, it just make a movie and that's it. You know, like not everything has to have a universe, and not everything has to be connected. Like, look, thinking about this now that we're talking about universes, and trilogies, if you want to say. Now we have what the third movie of it comes out at the end of the month, A Quiet Place. Yo, like who would have thought a movie like that? I would have never thought of that. You know, like nobody talks, and you know you get what you get in the movie, and yo, like it's suspenseful, it's a thriller, it's action, like it just has you on the edge of your seat, and it's entertaining. To me, I'm like, damn, those people are ahead of the game with that. You know, who would have thought? You're not gonna have no lines. You imagine being casted for a role like that? Like, oh, you come into the casting call, whatever, and then like, hey, look, you're gonna play this role, but there's no lines. What? All you have to do is probably scream here and there, just look terrified, and that's it. Like, what? That's it? Like, that's mind blowing, you know? So it's like that's a whole different ball game, if you want to say, but it's working, you know, and it worked out for them. Hey, keep going with it, you know. And they're already 3 movies in. You know, who would thought? Who would have thought that was gonna happen with that? You know, but it worked for them. Yeah, man. Batman Returns, man, compared to Batman versus Superman. That's real dark, I'm telling you, man. Even to the day of the day, you know that movie aged, and it's just Batman Returns is more darker than the first Batman. The first Batman was dark for its time, but when they got Batman Returns, man, till this day is aged like fine wine, in the sense that the background looks good, the characters look good, the actors, the actresses, like it's just everything about it. Of course, it's outdated, but for what it was in that universe, I mean, damn, you know, like that's crazy, you know, like they did a fantastic job with that. That's why I like what Tim Burton did with it, and Tim was ahead of the game with that too. Let me see if I can beat Catwoman because this chick is hard. All right, let me just see some comments real quick. Silent Night, okay. Is that the one with the Santa Claus that like he kills people or something like that? I remember seeing like a trailer for something like that. I know people were saying it was good, but I didn't see it, so I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. Oh no, man, we we don't worry about the gun bros. You know, like yeah, we just dust that off from the shoulder. You know, it's like yeah, whatever. Oh, I gotta check that out in black and white. Then I never thought about that. Yeah, Gotham for Burton was dope. That was Gotham, honestly. Like what he did was just it was awesome. This chick is tough, man. Alright, I'm gonna die, but it's alright. Cause I got another life, so yeah. Alright, I'm gonna have to cheat on this one right here real quick. Alright. Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna have to really check that out then. I know if I go faster than the ball, it will disappear, but yo, okay. Damn, I forgot I gotta fight Penguin on this one too. I'm telling you, this game is hard. If you ever played this game, you know what I'm talking about. Kingpin, Life of Crime, set design that is good to you. Nah, I haven't checked that out. I have to see it. Nah, that's all right. David Ayer could give up. But he hasn't really given up. You know what it is? It's just he's lost motivation, and that's understandable. A lot of people lose motivation. You know, a lot of people lose hope. That's fine. But once the movement starts going up again, you'll see he'll come back on board and stuff like that. He's just let down, and it's understandable because Lioness James Gunn told him that he was gonna do something to release it, which we already know he's not going to. But things could change. So, you know, anything can come about at any time. So, you know, remember the same thing happened with the Snyder Cut. Everybody was like, including the executives at WB. You know, they were like, "Oh no, we're not gonna get nothing with the what it was with the Snyder Cut. It doesn't exist and this and that, blah blah." You guys remember? And then boom, next thing you know, 2021, we got it. It was so everybody wanted it that freaking HBO Max at the time the servers crashed. That tells you everything. You know, people were eager. They wanted it. They were like ready to see it. Everybody, you know, the fans of course, and you had the people that were doubters and the salty ones. They were like, oh, let's see what this is about. And you know, it is what it is. We finally have it. So for history, we made history. Nobody can say otherwise because we did what we had to do, and it worked. Because the same way we got the Snyder Cut, we have to keep on fighting for the Air Cut, and of course for the Snyder Cut. I mean, the Snyderverse to be restored. Yeah, the Air Cut's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. That's all. You know, just give it time. We just gotta be patient with it. We were patient with the Snyder Cut. 5 years we had to put up with everybody's garbage, and then next thing you know, boom, we finally got it. And that's what they can't. You know, when I say they, I'm saying, you know, the salty ones, the trolls that they thought that they were gonna stop us. Oh, we won. They're not gonna get it all of a sudden. What? Yeah, they're not saying nothing anymore, right? And that's why we have to keep on fighting. All it is just a lot of people, especially a lot of YouTubers, they've switched sides, man. Honestly, just because for clicks and you know views and stuff like that. So, and of course they don't want to get the what do you call it? Like the backlash that people are like, oh, you still talking about it? People be posting that on my channel all the time. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I'm still talking about it. And what? What's it to you? You know, and they don't like that because they want us to be silent. You know, and that ain't happening. I'm gonna still keep on saying it. Restore the Snyderverse. Fire James Gunn. That's where I stand at. And a lot of people can relate with that too. They're seeing, people are seeing and they're finding out that, you know, it's not working. It's not working with what they're trying to do. But, you know, one way or the other, they're gonna learn, and they're starting to learn financially. Because those stocks keep on dropping. And I'm telling y'all, once those stocks drop fully, like $6.99 is bad. That's really bad. And the only thing that's gonna happen, like I said the other day, two things are gonna come from these stocks going down. One, they're gonna have to be forced to sell their IP, which I highly doubt that that's gonna happen. So that's why you don't see me talking too much about, you know, the sell the Snyderverse, because to me it's like, yo, honestly, I support it, but I don't see it happening. It makes more sense for them to restore the Snyderverse. Why? Because that's their big IP. It's one of their big IPs, you know? If Disney was sinking, you think they're gonna sell Star Wars? No. They're just gonna revamp it and do something else to try to, you know, bring in more people. But they're not gonna sell it. And the same thing with this, you know, it's like, I don't wanna sound negative, but I'm telling y'all, it wouldn't make sense. The only best way is for WB to keep their IPs, keep their characters, keep everything, instead of going down the route like Marvel did in the 90s, where those times were different, you know? And they had to sell everything. You know, they sold Spider-Man to Sony, they sold X-Men to Fox, and look at how big they are now, you know? Marvel had to buy the studio just for them to get X-Men and the rights back, you know? That's a big move, you know? Like that tells you everything. Like these people won't stop. They're going to get their IPs, and eventually they're going to come after Spider-Man, but they're not going to get it, you know, because As long as Sony's putting out content, video games, merchandise, movies, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't matter if it makes sense as long as they're fulfilling the contract. Like where their license states that they have to. I think it's every so often you have to put a movie out. Like you're going by what the contract says. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for Disney to get back with their characters and their rights and stuff like that. And the same thing with the WB. The only way for them to start making money and start gaining their stocks is the only way they know it. They need to just sell the Snyderverse. I mean, no, restore the Snyderverse. They have to. They have to restore it. And they know that the fans are passionate. They know that we're not gonna stop. They know that, like they don't believe in James Gunn. They only care about is this gonna make us money. They know that it's not gonna make them money, but they have a contract to fulfill, and in that contract it states that for whatever long James Gunn is supposed to be in that company for, which is normally minimum is like 5 years. Um, they have to go by what the contract says, but they know that it's not going to give them the money that they're expecting. They probably have this high number, like over $1 billion. It's not going to happen. I'll be surprised if it even makes 300 million. And it's just going to be a complete, like, it's just going to be so much on opening night. And damn it, I don't want to hear no excuses. That movie needs to make $1 billion. If it doesn't, it's just straight up done. It's done. And like it's just not gonna reach those numbers. No, Marvel can't buy. Disney cannot buy DC because there's laws that a corporation can only own a certain amount of IPs or certain products and stuff in the entertainment business. That's like Disney buying up everything. Like healthcare, food. You have entertainment. You have They can't own everything. You just can't. There's laws on that. By law, you cannot do that. If not, they would have been bought it, but they're not gonna do that. Yeah, that's another thing too. Look, now that you're saying that, look, Frankie, you got a good point. With David Ayer, when he did his Suicide Squad, when you see multiple interviews online and stuff like that, give me 1 second while I take a sip of water. When you see David Ayer with his interviews, he's talking about how his film was going to be originally R-rated. The Snyder Cut was R-rated, and look at how successful that was. Batman vs Superman was supposed to be originally R-rated. Man of Steel, of course, it was PG-13, but what was it? Damn, which other one was supposed to be rated? I can't remember right now. I think those are the only ones. Anyways, the whole point is that they did well, and WB knows that they did well because the numbers don't lie. But at the same time, WB is afraid of doing and going down that route, which it makes no sense because if Christopher Nolan brought on board Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder showed you all the storyboards and he's like, this is what's gonna go on, this is what's gonna happen, this character's gonna get killed, this character's gonna, die or whatever, and WB is sitting down and listening, hey, this is gonna be dark. Are fans going to accept this? Or like it's a risk, and I understand that. As a business side, I understand that. But oh damn, oh crap, oh damn, I don't know how I just did that, but I just did that. But financially, they're looking at it. Are people going to support it? And now we know that they are supporting it and they want that. But in a sense, it's too late for what's going on because WB has allowed all this shit show to happen in the sense where all this comedy with James Gunn, everything that happened with the Hamadaverse, with Shazam, like everything's just become like a comedy. But if we rewind time and look back, Batman 89 was dark for its time. And fans loved it back then. They still do. Batman Returns is even darker. And the same thing, people want it, for that time. But then what happened? After Batman Returns, we have the whole, if you want to say history is repeating itself, because what they did to Tim Burton, they didn't let him finish his his whole vision that's dark. They did the same thing to Zack Snyder. So they both have that in common, where it's like you have Michael Keaton that he's dark, you have Penguin that he's dark, you have Catwoman that's dark, but now you have Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse, and these characters are dark in the sense where like the backstory, the lore, and stuff like that. So fans want more of that. I get it. Not everybody wanted that because it was a whole different take, and of course, we're already during that time in the Marvel mentality where everybody's like, oh, everything is cheerful, everything is colorful, everything is bright. Like there's no violence in the sense where like people are bleeding. Now you have Batman fighting Superman. They're going at it. That's why Marvel did what they did with Civil War. But then what happens with Suicide Squad? You have Suicide Squad, what we got in the theatrical cut. Then we have the extended cut, which is R rated. That's the one they have like on HBO Max and on the movies and stuff that they put. And it even tells you before you watch it, it's strong content. So it's like strong language and all that stuff. So why WB, if you started off the universe with the Snyderverse, why didn't you continue it? That's what fans want. Most of the fans want that. And you have to remember also when people are like, oh, but they didn't do good at the box office. Yes, they did. They did very well at the box office. If you rewind, like the time in the sense of inflation of back then and that time, it surpassed the numbers. For that time, 600, 800 million was a lot, and today, you have to make like those or higher numbers, and it's like what happened. And it's because WB started getting in the way and saying, let's add comedy, let's add color, let's make it more bright, let's make it more family friendly. Why? Just leave it as what the director wanted. And they screwed things over and they fucked themselves, and it's like, this is the outcome. Here we are. And then when you see Shazam, the first Shazam and the second Shazam, it's a big difference. You have so much comedy in the second one. It's like, yo, this shit is embarrassing. Like when I was watching that movie in the theaters, look, honestly, I went in there and I was like, I'm gonna go in with open mind. I sat down and I'm like I tell everybody, and I always say it, the first 5 minutes of any movie tells you what that movie is going to be about. In that movie, within the first 2 minutes, probably less, it was already starting off bad. I was like, this shit's going to be bad. And it was. It just kept getting worse and worse. The Flush was the same thing. It started off in those 5 minutes. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. And that's what it was. Once you had the scene with the babies, and then the Flash is saving them and putting them in the microwave, and I was like, yo, what is this? How did this go through the studio? And the studio approved and say, this is great. Let's sign off. Go ahead. We can't wait to see this in the theaters. Audience is gonna love this. No, it's not. You're just preparing memes. You're just literally fueling up ammo for people to have and just make memes. And that's what we got. So when David Ayer had his final cut, which we know it's there somewhere in the vault, WB's like, yo, we can't release this. One, because it's dark. Two, because the mess that James Gunn already created. And three, they're like, the fans are gonna want more. And how do we fix this? That's WB's mentality, I'm guessing. They're like, what are we gonna do? Because they're gonna want a Suicide Squad 2 and a Suicide Squad 3. Because the fans don't accept James Gunn's The Suicide Squad as a second movie. Because it's not, you know? If it was, they should have just called it Suicide Squad 2. But by them renaming it The Suicide Squad, come on, man. Like, clearly, like you're just trying to reset things. So when they do that and they allow that, they just screw themselves. And that's why I said once we get the air cut, because it's gonna happen one day, the same way that we got the Snyder cut. I'm positive. I'm 98% sure that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But it's all on us. That's why when Superman comes out, just close your wallets. Straight up, close your wallets. Don't bother. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, I review videos for YouTube and I'm a YouTuber. Yeah, me too, but I'm not gonna go watch that shitty movie, honestly. Because you give it $5, even if it's $5, you're still supporting it. You see? That's the difference. If you're gonna watch it for free, that's different, but I'm not gonna go pay for it. For what? Just to support them? Nah, I'm not gonna fund that movie. and that's what they want. You know, that's why I don't buy a lot what WB says, because we know what they're about. You know, they say one thing and then they do the opposite, and they're just trying to grab us in the sense that they want us so we could fund their their DCU, which we can't fall for that. Like, look at how what do you call it? These games that they were supposed to be connected. It- Last time I remember, that's what James Gunn said, right? Everything was supposed to connect. And what happened with the with Suicide Squad? It flopped. It did bad. It's like, come on, like, what's going on, you know? And it's because WB is just allowing anything. They're like, yeah, go for it. We don't care. Just approve of it. Just release it. You know, you can't release everything. You have to release some things, and when you do, you have to do it right. And they're just rushing things because they're so desperate. You know, the studio needs money, so they're gonna put anything out. And they're like, yo, you know what? We need to make money. It's done so bad that I think they're already starting to close down some of the servers. I'm like, whoa, that's terrible. You know, that's completely bad. Like, it just doesn't work like that. Movies, TV, man. Yeah, that dude completely. He's a show, yo. I used to watch his, and I used to go on there and stuff. But he's another one too that sold out, and he turned his back on the whole fandom and stuff. So like, I don't even waste my time with him. Yeah, the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman, rated R. Yep, that's the best thing. Oh, that'd be dope. That'd be dope to do a protest or something. Like, for sure, I'm down to do something. So, just trying to get everybody on board to do it again. He said a takeover of the studio. The best way to get them, I'm telling you, man, is just financially. It's not working for them. It's just not. Financially, they're in a mess, and they know it. Like, they're just like trying to say, and they're breaking their heads. They're like, "Yo, what do we do to try to get out of this mess?" Yeah, you know what you need to do. That's why to what do you call it? Netflix is treating Zach straight up with respect and straight up royalty, in the sense where, like, do what you gotta do, just finish the product, and we're all gonna make money, and that's how you gotta do it. And it's working. It's straight up working, and look at that. Look how much Zack Snyder content we're getting. Just everything. It's just not Rebel Moon. We're getting Twilight of the Gods. What is the Snyder cut for Rebel Moon? It's just non-stop. Army of the Dead. We got Rebel Moon 3 in the works. I mean, there's so much coming out, and it's just awesome. It's amazing. That's why it just proves and it shows to all the salty ones that they're like, well, there's no way we're gonna stop Zach. They're not. They're trying to build all these lies, and they know that he's winning. And the worst part for them that they can't accept. And when I say they, I mean all those salty ones. The studio, both the studios that are not with Zach or don't want to work with him, that he has a following, and we, his fans, we support him. And then just they don't like it. They just don't like the fact that he's winning. We're winning together. Netflix is winning, and like, they just can't accept that fact, and it bothers them. They're hurt about it. But that's good. That's good, because if you would have had Zach, you would have been winning too. Accept it, because that's another thing too. That look, honestly, it just pisses me off in the sense that who in WB was so stupid to say, and at Disney, to reject Rebel Moon. I wish I could see and be at that meeting, just there, watching it, as Zach was presenting to the studios, both Disney slash Marvel, or whatever you want to call it, and Warner Brothers. Hey, look, I'm working on this project. I have another one too, and I have another one. I remember a few years ago while Justice League was going on, when he was presenting to them Rebel Moon, when he was presenting to them Twilight of the Gods, um, and this other one with Army of the Dead. And I don't think those had titles yet. I remember Army of the Dead, but I know it was something that it was still in the works. And then we found out that it was Rebel Moon, the title or whatever. So I want to know how that meeting was, where Zach was like, "Hey, look, I'm working on this. Check it out. I'll give you a week or two, and you let me know." I want to know what Jackass came back and said. You know what? We're not gonna move forward with this because we don't see the vision. And then now look, Rebel Moon dominating the streaming service at Netflix with what he had given the opportunity to WB and Disney turned it down too because they were like, "Oh no, well, it doesn't fall into play with our Star Wars," because he wanted to adapt that to Star Wars or something like that, and Disney turned it down. And that's why now Netflix is winning with Zach, and they're winning with Rebel Moon. That's why I'm happy and I'm glad that we're getting what we're getting. The PG-13, amazing. I love both of them, honestly. Part one was good. Part two, as soon as I saw it, look, I saw it because I told you, I posted the thing. I had got a special invite last minute. When I went to the movie theaters, I was sitting there and I was just looking. I was like, I'm actually about to see Rebel Moon 2 in the theaters. This is a privilege. It's a huge privilege. This is an honor. And then I was like, wow. Within the first 2 minutes, when that movie starts, I was like, whoa, like, why would Disney turn this down? Why did WB turn this down? Well, you get what you freaking deserve. Now you're in the corner crying, your stocks are falling, and Netflix is winning, and Rebel Moon is succeeding with more fans and subscribers. And now we're getting the R rated extended cuts of these movies. That tells you everything. It just tells you everything that Zach is a brand and that what he puts, people are gonna go, like just gonna support it. I get it, not everything, because I didn't like Army of the Dead. Honestly, I'm not a real fan of it, and I love zombie movies, but I don't know, there's just something about it I just wasn't feeling. And I'm telling you as a Zack Snyder fan, but it's okay. It's okay because it's not for everybody. And with Rebel Moon, well, what we got, the PG-13 cuts were awesome. For me, they were good. I get a lot of people they didn't like them. It is what it is. Hopefully, with the R-rated extended cut, it makes those people happy in the sense where, look, I get it. You didn't like the first movie. That's understandable. Now, this is what it was supposed to be. If you have those critics, and I spoke about this recently too, you have critics and you have fans. A critic, most of the time, 98% are hard to please. Most of the time, that's what they are, critics. They're just there to criticize everything. This doesn't belong there. That doesn't make sense. That's like saying, oh, Iron Man can, like kneel because, of course, he's wearing an armor and, the metal won't allow him. Common sense, we know that shit is not going to happen. But in the fake make believe world, it does happen. But those are critics that they're trying to point out everything. Now you have fans that are like, yo, that shit wasn't realistic, but that shit was good. You get what I'm saying? So like the fans will be like, yo, I loved it. I enjoyed it. Or I didn't like it. And that's fine. We're all entitled to have an opinion. And that's the beauty of it. That we can all say, hey, look, I liked it. I didn't like it. That's fine. But we move on to whatever is the next, like the next movie or whatever it is that they're putting out. The reason why studios put out PG-13s and R-rated movies are the following, plain and simple. Netflix is the one that wanted Rebel Moon to be released in December and Rebel Moon 2 in April, PG-13. Not Zach, the studio, Netflix. Netflix, why? Because they want to gain subscribers. They want to try to get more people to watch it in the sense where, like, all right, well, kids are going to watch it. So let's just put, like the PG-13 cutout first. And then you could do your R-rated. And that's what we're getting right now. Because the studios want the most ROI, return on investment. So they got to get back the money that they spent on that movie. And then they'll be able to put out like what they're doing right now. the extended cut, the R-rated cut, whatever you want to call it, because it helps fund whatever that next project is. Because remember, it takes money to make money. So they're going to be like, well, we need to get all of our money up front first and get our profits before we move and try to do anything else. And look, it worked out. It's unfortunate that it didn't work out like that with Zach and Justice League, because we already knew it was going to be doomed the moment we saw Joss Whedon come on set. When we saw that Joss Whedon was going to be part of Justice League, we're like, yo, this is going to be bad, you know? And of course, things that happen with Zach and stuff like that. And then look at what we happen. And look at what happens. This is where we're at because WB has allowed it. If they would have said, you know what, let's pause, let's respect Zach with his situation he's going through, and when he's done, if he wants to come back and continue it, we'll continue and we'll pick up. But WB was so desperate that they wanted to make or surpass the numbers of the Avengers. When you're already, I think at the time it was already 2 movies in of the Avengers. We had the first one, and then we had Age of Ultron or something. So it just shows you and proves you that since the beginning, WB are the ones that have been problematic towards their own universe, if you want to say, their own cinematic universe. Now, is the same thing going to happen with James Gunn? Are they going to get in the way and screw things up for James Gunn? Or are they going to allow him to do everything? Because if they don't and they allow him to do everything, that's clear favoritism. And that shows you. And this is where we, the fans, come into play. We should not allow that. We should not tolerate that. Because we're going to be like, yo, you know what? You guys screwed us over. Now it's our turn. Because every movie ticket that doesn't sell, it's hurting the company more and more. And the less chances that James Gunn has to continue his universe. If it does well and it surpasses $1 billion, I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to be bad. Why? Because it just shows you that there's money to be made there. We know it's not going to happen, but a big if, because anything can happen. If it does make over $1 billion, then we can say, yo, all right, this is not good. But we know that it's not going to make those numbers. The Batman wasn't able to bring in not even, I think, 800 million. So that tells you a lot, Now, if they were to bring Ben Affleck and say, yo, like, we're going to do the Ben Affleck Batman movie, guaranteed that's going to make $1 billion. Guaranteed. And for sure, we know that Michael Keaton, even though he's Michael Keaton, he's Batman, but he's not the Batman of the DCEU. He's not the Batman of this modern time. People are not going to fully support it because look at what happened in The Flush. If it was, then you would have had everybody coming out. That movie would have made $1 billion. Remember when they were saying, oh, this movie's going to make a lot of money? And what happened? Opening night, it was bad. The next night, it was worse. The whole weekend, it was bad. 2-3 weeks in, it was terrible. And then what do we get in Blue Beetle? Opening night, bad. A week before it opens, the ticket sales, they weren't selling. That tells you everything. And the same thing needs to happen. And it will happen with James Gunn and his Superman. Especially now that these pictures are coming out where he's with his underwear. Oh, man, come on. Yo, like, it's just wild. It's wild, honestly, It gets to a point where, like, the studio's allowing all this, and it's just going to continue to sink more and more. And, I mean, their only solution is just to restore the Snyderverse. That's the only solution that they have. But, of course, they got to go by what the contract says. And, of course, you can't forget their ego, that, that's the icing on the cake. And, it's just, the power is in us, the fans, Not everybody's going to go watch Superman. Not everybody. For one, I'm not going to watch it, And even if I was to get a free pass, I'll still reconsider because I'm like, I'm not even looking forward to it, honestly. But it's nuts. It's nuts. And, like, nothing should surprise you anymore. Every time James Gunn says something, just know that it's just with a lie. because everything that he's putting out and saying, it's all nothing but a lie. Alright, let me see something real quick. Yeah, it's just getting worse. Every picture that he puts is just getting worse. It's embarrassing more and more. If you look at the underwear where he's standing on the newspaper, you can see all the wrinkles. Like literally, it looks like a rubber suit. Like it literally looks like he's wearing what's her name from Captain Marvel from Marvel, Marvels whatever it's called. It looks just like her costume, except with the S on the chest. I'm like, that looks bad, you know. It's trash on purpose. If money was a thing, if quality was a thing, they would rehire Snyder by the minute. Yeah, but the thing is, the studio is just in so much debt right now, they can't afford it. They can't. So everything that's coming in, yeah, they made $1 billion with Barbie. Woo, whoop de doo. But on the other side, that billion is already gone. Why? Because they have to spend on this and on that, on the actors, on props and sets and stuff. If you guys have been watching behind the scenes right now, the pictures that are leaking, they're going for a real cheap quality with this whole Superman. I'm talking about like real low budget. Like it look like they're shopping at five and below because like the props look real cheap. Like it looks really really bad. Like in the sense where it's like, yo, you guys are not even trying. Like and it's because of the budget. They don't have a lot of money for it, and I think that WB has bitten more than what they can chew. And in the end, like I said, this movie needs to make over $1 billion. If it doesn't, don't forget, you have to pay cast. You have to pay marketing. You can never forget how much money they're gonna spend on marketing, and they have to make that money back. If they don't make it back, then what's up? It's not good. Yep, that's true. That's true. The companies are always corrupted. That's Hollywood. It's all about the money. But the fact is the fact. Every company is like that. Small company, medium company, big company. That's what corporations are. All of them. You know, they try to squeeze you and milk you for everything. But that's just corporate mind, if you want to say so. In the end, it's all about making money. So you got to see that from that point of view. Yeah, the red trunks look like a diaper. Yeah, they do. They curl. Yeah, it looks terrible, man. They just look. They're going so cheap on every way possible that like I don't even think they know what they're doing anymore. They're just like, yo, you know what? We don't even care. Just sign off, approve of it, and keep going. This is why. Look at how many people are going to appear in this movie of the first Superman of a reboot. It has so many people on that movie, and I'm sure you're gonna get more. I'm telling you, I've been saying it, and it's going to happen. Don't be surprised. At the end of Superman, I'm telling you, I'm probably 99% sure that we are going to finally see the silhouette, or probably up to like where the next stops or something for Batman and for super. I mean, what you got for sure, Supergirl. This girl's gonna appear in it, and Wonder Woman. And don't be surprised when you also see Crypto the dog appear. Also, that's gonna happen. This movie is gonna get more and more out of hand because I'm telling you, even James Gunn knows that. Look, that's how bad it is that I can't even come up with words because he knows that his property isn't going to deliver the quality that he thinks in his mind that he's going to deliver. When he sees that nobody's supporting that movie, especially now. I mean, you put a first picture and it's nothing but a meme. That tells you everything. Like the fans don't respect you. They just don't. And it's like it's embarrassing. I know I would be embarrassed. It's like damn, the fans went hard on me with that. Like, and it's like yo, the fans are telling you what they want, and you're not listening. You're gonna reap what you sow. That's all. And they know it. They know it. But are they listening? They don't care. They do not care. They're just like, we're gonna do what we want to do. Yeah, and then you wonder why you're not making money at the box office. You wonder why your stocks are at 6.99. You wonder why you lost most of the fan base because just people are tired of it. It gets to a point where it's like enough is enough. And it's understandable. It really is, but it's wild. It's really really wild. All right, let me see something real quick. Oh yeah, it's a matter of time. The drama's gonna come out because it always does. These studios, these companies, drama's always bound to happen behind. It happens, in every set. You have an actor, an actress. One doesn't want to do one thing. It's not easy, it's hard. Making a movie is not easy. You have to deal with so many people and so many personalities. It's rough. It's really rough. Making a movie it's a pain. It's fun, but it just a lot of work behind it. Yeah, I had to block a lot of comments and delete so many just because, man, sometimes the things that people just say just because, like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. People are just mean. It just gets too out of control. A piece of Devo. Yeah, man. It's wild, It's like that's why we have to keep on staying focused and keep on fighting for the for Restore the Snyderverse and the air cut, because of course, like, and I can understand and I can see where David Ayer stands in the sense where, like, he must be disappointed because here you have James Gunn lying to you in your face, saying, "Hey, we're going to release it. Just give us some time, and we're gonna try to work and do what we can." No, you're not. Just be straightforward and be like, "Look, we're not gonna release it because we don't want to release it, but it's somewhere in the vault at WB." You know, so that means and that proves that we cannot stop. We have to keep on fighting for it. Remember when everybody was doubting us, talking so down on us? Oh, with the Snyder cut, but we have it. We didn't give up, so why should we give up for David Ayer? We can't. On the contrary, we need to come out even stronger. I remember we were flying banners, posting up ads everywhere, even in what was New York, and like it was everywhere. And look, the hard work finally paid off. Look, I'm gonna say this now that I'm right here live, so whoever's listening, like right now, and for whoever's gonna watch after it goes up and all that stuff, if anybody is down, I'm willing to open like a GoFundMe or some type of page where everybody can donate. And damn it, I'll go out there and get some billboards and get some ads and get this ball rolling. Because all we need is just funds for people to put, and we can make that happen. I got plugs for all that. All we need is just some type of income. If we have some money to put it in, yo, I guarantee you'll start seeing ads, Restore the Snyderverse in those billboards, those digital ads, And all of this is just up to us. We do that, we come together the same way that we were doing with that. Yo, I'm telling y'all, like, the movement's gonna move fast, and they can't ignore us. They know we're out here. David Zaslav knows that we're out here. I forgot somebody recently they had sent them something, like for Restore the Snyderverse, and I think they parked it in a van or they did a digital. It was one of those vans with a digital board on it and stuff like that. And then they send them letters. Even if we gotta send some letters and stuff too, like I say, we start doing all this. Like, why not? All right, this game's starting to get on my nerve. But yeah, probably gonna hang out for like another 2 minutes. I'm about to get going and stuff. So, but yeah, we just gotta keep on doing what we gotta do, And as we're watching and seeing how everything is unfolding slowly, it's just showing us where they're standing at, where WB is at, all the shortcuts they're trying to take, trying to do everything that they can, and it's just not working. Everything that they're doing, it's not working, and it's sad that it's gotten to this point, but they've allowed this, and And this is what happens when you allow this to happen. When you don't believe in your own brand, you don't believe in your own product, and you take shortcuts, you know. But it is what it is. I mean, what can we do, you know? And honestly, as fans, it's just we just got to keep on doing what we got to do, you know, because it just gets to a point where it's just I don't even know. I don't even have words anymore. You know, it's just, yo, like, what do you do with this? You know, and straight up, it just gets to a point where it's like, what can you do? You just see them sink every time more and more. And I mean, what can you do? You know, it's just, it's wild. It's wild. That's why I'm like, yo, I remember when WB used to be at the top, when Marvel used to be at the top, and look at where both of them are at. They're both falling every time more and more. And that just shows you and it tells you that things are bad. And when you have these two studios now trying to convince us, the audience, the fans, the consumer, hey, look, um, get in I mean, get our bundle that we're offering, and you know, like, what are you trying to do? You're just trying to compete against Netflix, and nobody's buying it. That's the part, you know, like nobody's buying it because we already know what the studio's about. They're full of crap. They just lie, but they want to milk us and they try to get our money on both sides with Marvel and Disney. I mean, with DC, WB, and they don't want to give us quality, but yet they want us to buy their bundle packages. And it's like, if you give us quality and you give us what we want, then yeah, we'll give you money. But I'm not funding a company that's not giving me what I want as the consumer and especially as the fan. I mean, I don't see the logic in that. You know, it's like, why? That's why with Netflix, you have so many shows, original content. It's just, it's awesome. You know, it's like you get more for your money. Yeah, they don't care. Of course, they don't care. The same way they don't care, why should we care? See, it makes sense. So when we see that their stocks are falling, it's not because, oh well, because of this and because of that. No, it's because, you know what? You're pissing off investors too. Investors are getting tired of it. You imagine that all those investors that invested in 2023 and before 2022, and they're like, yo, we're not making money, we're losing money. Like, you guys need to come up with an idea of how we're gonna get our money back. And who knows? You know, it's like probably this is the last draw where it comes to like, you know what, these investors are pissed and they're like, yo, we need money back. And on top of that, we need, you know, a higher percentage because of course these people are putting money up front for these movies to get funded and, you know, and get made and stuff like that. So when you have a studio that doesn't return the investment that you thought you were gonna make, I mean, they're gonna be like, what the hell, you know, like, why are we gonna believe in fund the next project? You know, most of the time those investors leave, and it doesn't look good for them. You know, and that's what I think is happening with this one with Superman because they're right now, like I said, they're cutting shortcuts on everything. The props look terrible. The set looks basic. It is nothing to be like, wow, like this is gonna be good. No, it's just every time it's just nothing but like a meme. And it's like, how is the studio allowing all this? Yeah, they don't care. And the same way that they don't care, we don't care either. You know, it's like, oh, this is what happens. Don't listen to your fans, don't listen to your audience, don't listen to your consumer, especially your customer that's paying, then they're gonna walk away and they're gonna go somewhere else. And that's where Netflix comes into play, you know, and it's sad in the sense where you have HBO Max, but there's not really nothing good to be like, yo, I want to subscribe to HBO Max. Well, only House of Dragons, that's it. Game of Thrones, and that's it. That's all I could think of. I mean, but Netflix, they have a long list of shows, movies, content. You know, so many things that you look forward to and at a good price. But then you got HBO raising the price. You have Disney raising the price. It's like you're just scaring the customer away. You know, it's like, You don't do that, but that's what they're doing, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then they want to cram it with ads. It's like, nah, like it doesn't work. It just doesn't. But they know what they need to do, and I think that's what's coming. Once they see that Superman flops and it doesn't go the way that they're expecting, that's why I think they're doing what they're doing with Zach, trying to repair that relationship. Where I have a feeling that Zach probably already said, "Look, I'll come back and I'll do your 300 prequel, but in return, I need you to let me finish doing what I was doing. You guys promised me a 5-story arc in my universe, what we're gonna do. I want that plus something else. Let's go. If I was a studio, I'd be like, let's go, let's do that, let's make it happen now. You know, hopefully that's what's happening, because if Superman flops, they need something to make a comeback, in the sense where, like, all right, what are you guys gonna do now financially? That it didn't work. What now? Can we go back where we left off? Can we continue the Snyderverse? Can you guys restore it? Can you guys do everything that you said you were gonna do? Are you gonna leave Zach alone? Are you not gonna get in the way? And you're gonna see how your profits are gonna go up. Just that one announcement with Zach coming back to do the 300 prequel, the stocks shot up. That tells you everything. If it wasn't, then the stocks would have never gone up. That's why a lot of people that are in denial, they're like, "Oh, well, the stocks didn't go up because of him. It just went up because of this." No, it went up because they said that Zach was gonna come back for it. So that shows you everything. Even the people on Wall Street are like, "Yes, we know it. We know that that's gonna sell because it's selling on Netflix." If Rebel Moon wasn't doing good on Netflix, we wouldn't be getting a Snyder cut of it for Rebel Moon. But we're getting it, and not only that, we're getting Twilight of the Gods, because it takes money to make the animation. The animation ain't cheap, expensive. Even if it's in house at Netflix or wherever the hell they're doing it, that's expensive to do that type of animation. So that tells you that Zach is bringing them money. They're gaining subscribers. They're getting money. So they're like, yo, you know what? Let's do it. Let's keep doing content. That's why I respect Netflix, because they're respecting and they're letting Zach do his thing. He's having fun. We're enjoying it. We're watching his movies, and it's just constant content that's coming out, and he's delivering. It's like, wow. Like, I'm still surprised how awesome Rebel Moon 2 was. Like, it's awesome. That's why when the Snyder cut of Rebel Moon comes out, I'm calling it the Snyder cut, regardless. It's still, that's his version. So when the extended cuts of Rebel Moon 1 and 2 come out, I can't wait to hear the excuses of what the critics are going to be saying. Oh, it's too long. Oh, it's this and that. Oh, it's too much storytelling. Well, hold on. It first came out, not enough storytelling. It was too quick. And now it's going to be the opposite. Too long on the story. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're going to come up with all type of excuses. And they're going to just try to make it look bad. But, they can't stop it. And they know it. And that's what pisses them off. Because they're like, yo, either you're with us or you're against us. Nah, we're not with you. We're not down with that. We want quality. We don't want none of that, like content that they're trying to put on, trying to force feed us. We want good entertainment. And that's what Netflix and Zach is giving us, and that would be so amazing, and like I said, if the studio was to sell, the one that I would see that would be able to get them, besides Netflix, of course, Universal. That right there would be insane, and I think that they know, but they're just waiting because these stocks are dropping. So that's gonna be like ham. They're gonna buy it when those shares are low, like at $2 or probably $1.99, or who knows, probably less. You know what that is to get those shares at that price? It's gonna be like when Marvel was selling back in the days that they were desperate. It's gonna be the same thing like that, like real estate. Like some good cheap price for a lot of IPs that are gonna be, it's gonna make so much money for them. Now the question is, will it get to that point? That's the part we have to wait and see, because like I said, as much as I would love to see the studio sell it, I don't see that could happen. It's just, it has to be extreme in the point where it's like, yo, these people are about to literally go bankrupt for them to have to sell. And I mean, that it's just, we have to see. We have to see what's gonna happen. But just thinking in a world where, let's say things do go bad, WB has to sell, Universal buys them, and they do an exclusive deal with Netflix where they're gonna stream original content like Netflix was saying recently. And hey, we're gonna restore the Snyderverse and we're gonna do what Zack wants. Oh man, you imagine that? That's gonna be nuts. That alone is going to be insane. You imagine how that's gonna have everybody talking. Everybody. You're gonna have every YouTuber jumping on the bandwagon. All those that turn their backs are gonna want to talk about it and say, "Well, I was always there since the beginning, but this, but that," and then, boom, we get it. All it takes is just for WB, Netflix, or if Universal buys it. Let's just say in a perfect world that Universal acquires it and they buy WB. They're the parent company. All they have to do to drive everybody to talk everywhere, all over the world, is just go on social media and post restored. That's it. You imagine that? The stocks are gonna be through the roof. Everything's gonna be up because you're gonna have everybody talking. Everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell? Like, what do you mean by restored?" Everybody's gonna be talking. We already know what's up. We already know what's up. But you imagine the faces on everybody that for years were like, "Well, the Snyder Cut's never gonna happen," and we got it. And the day that we get David Ayer's Suicide Squad released, that's gonna, I'm telling you, we're making history. That's all it is. We're just going down in history as history is being written right before us. We could be right now 40 years down the road. Who knows what the hell's gonna happen? But we can go back and say the Snyderverse. Oh, you guys remember? Oh, what? The Snyderverse. The fans came together, and the studio tried us, and they tried to not give us what we wanted, but we pressured the studio to give us during the pandemic the Snyder Cut when everybody was against it. That's history. That's forever going to be in the books. That's forever going to be in the history of WB. I don't care where or what is going on. It's forever going to be part of history. The same thing like how, you have like every what is it, verse, Burton verse, Nolan verse, Snyder verse. That's going to go down with it. And then when it gets to James Gunn, they're going to be like, what were we thinking? What was the studio thinking? It's just going to be nothing but a meme. Like, it's crazy, like, that's why we got to give props to each other, because we're fighting and we're defending what we believe in. It's not hurting anybody. But on the contrary, they want to come and try to hurt us. They want to come and offend us. They want to come and insult us. And we had to sit here and tolerate it. That's fine. No worries. I mean, but in the end, we got the Snyder Cut. That's it. Like, that's a huge win. And they know it. Like, there's no stopping it. That's the beautiful part about this. Like, we made that happen. Every tweet, every post, every whatever it is that you put towards to help, we took part of that. And we made that happen. And that's what they don't like, that we were able to do that. You imagine what those groups, what those people say, how do these Snyder fans keep on doing it? Even Grace Randolph said that, that YouTuber. She was like, give it to you guys. You guys don't put up, you guys don't stop. You guys don't know how to quit. Exactly, we don't know how to quit. We don't quit. We keep going until we get what we want. That's it. And they gave us the Snyder Cut. We made that possible. and it's forever going down in history. That's forever, and for life in the history of WB, that's always gonna be there. With the history of with DC, with their world, universe, whatever you want to call it, it's forever gonna be there. Yo, you remember when the fans came together and they all got together and made the Snyder Cut happen? After everybody, even the studio was saying that it wouldn't happen. That's huge. That's a big, big victory for us. That's why I'm like, every day I keep fighting for this because I know it's gonna happen. The same thing. It's just history repeating itself again. You know, the same thing with the Snyder Cut, and the same thing is coming with the Ayer Cut. And like I said, I know David Ayer must be tired because he's like, man, like I keep hearing these things and nothing happens, and not everybody can fight together at the same time. You know, some people they give up quick. Some people just can't deal with it. I mean, but true warriors do what we're doing. We don't surrender. We don't back down. Just like in 300, it was 300 against that whole army, and what happened? They still won, and they made it possible. That's the same thing with us. We're not giving up. Even though while everybody's right now talking, making memes, doing jokes, do what you want, all right. But in the end, we got what we wanted. We got the Snyder Cut, and it came forth. It happened, you know, and forever it's gonna go down in history. And they know it. This is another good game too. This I would love to see a movie out of this. Streets of Rage, like this would be a perfect movie to be done live action. There's so much that can be done with this game. But yeah, I mean, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. But yeah, I'm about to end the stream. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll probably come back tomorrow and we'll chat up some more stuff like that. I'll post that new video that I got. So make sure to look out for it. I'll probably have it sometime, probably by midday or something like that. So you guys can see it and stuff like that. And of course, we'll keep on talking on this live stream and stuff. So, but yeah, for now, I'll just end it here. And appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night, and we'll talk tomorrow. Peace.